Oh my goodness, man. I said Florida in 7. That was the idea. Heading into the Stanley Cup Finals in our predictions video was going to be a 7-game series, but it was one where I said that Florida would come out on top, and man, oh man, has this been a roller coaster of emotions. Can you believe it, my friend? This will be the final day of NHL hockey for this season. This is it. It all boils down to this. It's been a while since we've had a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. 5 years to be exact. 2019, St. Louis Blues, Boston Bruins, Game 7 victory. We recorded the post-game video of that series walking down around Vancouver because I was out with some friends at the time. But this Stanley Cup Finals series has gone down the rabbit hole in the weirdest and most out-of-pocket way possible, because if you had said at the beginning of the series, hey, this one's going to 7, then a lot of people would have been like, okay, like, that's not surprising. These two teams, they're both good, so the fact that they could match up against each other as well as they could, and maybe get some splits down the middle, even games, Game 1 win, Game 2 loss, Game 3 win, maybe back and forth a little bit here, it could go to 7 for sure. But to see the series go the way that it has, 3-0 Florida, 3 straight wins by Edmonton, and now heading into Game 7, we had said this in the video yesterday, but it seems like everybody who is watching this sport is on the tip of their toes to see an Edmonton Oilers win. The Florida Panthers just have had no response in the past 5 games, and sure, the ones they do end up getting sometimes get called off, but they still were not able to beat out an Oilers squad that has been running on pure adrenaline these past 10 days. You talk about 10 days, Chris Knobloch said, after going down 3-0, hey, I'm really excited for the next 10 days. That quote seems like the hardest quote of all time now when you think about the context of where the Oilers were at, down 3-0, and where they've gone since then. Connor McDavid with 8 points in 2 games, and the Oilers with 3 straight wins in domineering fashion. Stuart Skinner getting a primary assist, Darnell Nurse scoring goals, Corey Perry getting on the board, Leon Draisaitl starting to get his groove back. Heading into Game 7, this is Connor McDavid's last assignment to finish things off and take over the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I will say, the Florida Panthers, they've been saying the right things. You know, it's a little bit coping, I would say. A lot of people have been clowning on the Panthers on social media for some of the comments made by some of their guys. Oh yeah, you know, you live to play for Game 7s. You dream about these moments as a child. Yeah, okay, you dream about playing a Game 7. You don't dream about losing 3 games straight after having a 3-0 series lead to get there. Like, this Stanley Cup Final is on the precipice of history. Either we have ourselves the 3rd time ever that a team has come back down 3-0 to tie it, or we have ourselves the 2nd time where a team reverses the sweep in that final series. There's a tweet yesterday that was going viral. It was of Connor McDavid. He tweeted this out back when he was in high school. Yeah, high school, June 13th, 2012. He said this, "My last exam is tomorrow. #finally. Now, 12 years later, he's about to win the Stanley Cup according to SD Zagros. Who knows if he will? If he doesn't, then I'm going to blame this tweeter out here. But ultimately, Connor McDavid has a chance to put himself amongst the greats tomorrow. And oh, Lego, you're not giving your love to the Panthers. Yeah, I know. They've had 3 games to win this series. The cup has gone back and forth and back and forth. The hardware itself is logging those flyer miles. The Panthers have had ample opportunity to finish this off and take the championship home. But the fact that it's gone this far, where now they're looking so bad in the previous games, they're losing 3 in a row, Bob is not looking as good as he has been, Stuart Skinner has been outplaying Bobrovsky, and the Oilers have looked fantastic. Man, my prediction, I'm gonna stick by with it, but I feel really, really contested within myself to do so. Honestly, the fact that I'm sticking with Florida in 7 is more so because I want to stay true to myself and what I had said a few months ago. And I say, weeks ago, excuse me. Yeah, the Stanley Cup Final Series has been going on for 2 weeks now, forgive me. But I said Florida in 7. I feel like it's part of my pride to stick with it. Although, if you had asked me from scratch today, based off of how everything has gone, I'd be like, yeah, no, Edmonton has got this. Edmonton's got it in the bag. If Edmonton loses, then okay. Florida, at the very least, you probably deserved it based off of how you had performed in the first 3 games of the series. Heck, the Panthers didn't even play well in Game 1. They just ended up winning because of Bobrovsky. But either way, I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of nervous. This is it, eh? If the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, then that is it. That's it. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, they get the chip. They needed this. They cement their legacy. Evan Bouchard puts himself in Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar conversation. And that core, Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid, they re-signed for what, $40 million on their extensions in total? Not separately, of course. And meanwhile, for the Florida Panthers, you think about this. Sergei Bobrovsky has gone to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row. He is 35 years old. If they don't win now, will they ever win? And you think about the core. Okay, these guys. Sam Reinhart, he'll be a free agent. He may be getting $13 million. Who really knows? He's a 50-goal scorer. Aaron Ekblad, what's his future with the team? You have Matthew Tkachuk. Okay, he's sticking around here for the long term, but what happens to everybody else around him? What happens to that Florida Panthers core? Can you rely on a guy like Stolarz to be your number 1 when Sergei Bobrovsky is down and out? These are the conversations you are going to have to ask yourself if you lose this Stanley Cup final. And furthermore, the embarrassment. My goodness. You want to talk about the memes about the Florida Panthers? The talking points that everybody goes out there and brings up? Oh yeah, they've got 3 fans in the building. They've got no fans. They got swept in their first Stanley Cup final. They got gentlemen swept in their second. And now in their third, they're going to get reverse swept. I'll tell you this, as a Vancouver Canucks fan, it is kind of painful to watch this. Not because I'm seeing the Oilers do well, but because, for Florida, you guys have Bobby Lou up in the rafters. He's up in the press box, watching over the team that he is an executive of. He had 2 chances to win the Stanley Cup as a Vancouver Canuck in 2011. Game 6, he stunk. Game 7, he stunk even more. And now in 2024, 13 years later, the team that he is a part of has 3 opportunities to win the Stanley Cup, and they fail every single time. They now have one last opportunity to do this. And if Luongo loses, he's 0-6 in Stanley Cup clinching games. Who goes 0-6? I mean, some guys probably have more losses than that, but probably a lot more wins too. How do you go 0-6, man? He's not playing, I get it. He's not technically on the roster, but he is on the team. So that's kind of aching away at my Vancouver Canucks-centered heart. To end off this video, we'll go over to a picture of Connor McDavid. This was taken yesterday, and it's of him, Corey Perry, the guys walking down a staircase. Connor Mac's got the big thighs, and he's got the big coffee. Look at that smile. That's the face of a guy who is excited to head into game number 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as to how you think the series is going to go. We've got, what, 7 hours till puck drop at the time of this video's publication on YouTube? I don't really know what the time is, but we'll get things started with that. And once the finals are over, you know you're going to check out this channel, baby, because we are going to make a video as to what goes down. We're going to react to everything, and, you know, this is going to be it. Today is the end. Stanley Cup Final Day, baby. Game 7. Edmonton versus Florida. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this series and where do you think it's going to go. I am sticking with my guns, mostly because I feel like I have to pay tribute to myself. I'm saying Florida in 7. If you twisted my arm and forced me to change it, I probably would, but let's just go with this for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99. And bye.